I'm here at the scene of the crime from late last week. I'll have information about just what happened in a moment.
Are you wanting to support female-owned businesses and ready to celebrate Halloween? Find out more later in the show.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Jose Alonso.
And I'm Isabella Quintanilla. At the end of last week, I know everyone was excited for the UNT football game.
I certainly was, but something unfortunate took place that has UNT looking to up their security. ntTV's Nathan Mayer is on the scene where the incident occurred. Nathan?
Thanks, you guys. As a ritual before every home game, the UNT football players stay at a hotel, and they park here in this parking lot where late Thursday and into Friday morning, players had their cars vandalized. Some had their windows broken, some had items stolen from their vehicles, and all of these that were vandalized belonged to UNT players. One of the players, tight end Jason Pirtle, tweeted out, quote, "To the person who broke into my car, I don't got AC anyways, so I'm used to driving with my windows down," end quote. Now, this is still an ongoing investigation, but UNT Police and University spokesperson Leanne Gullett asks that anyone with more information to contact UNT Police. That's all I have for tonight's update on the vandalism. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Nathan. There's another Conference USA story that could affect UNT's future sports programs.
That's right, Isabella. There is no official confirmation yet, but UNT has been in serious discussions with switching conferences. Our sports anchor, Lincoln Revel, has the story.
That's right, guys. UNT has officially applied to join the American Athletic Conference, according to ESPN, along with FAU, UTSA, UAB, Rice, and Charlotte. All 6 schools are expected to be accepted into what will become a 14-team league. ntTV contacted the office of UNT President Neil Smatrusk, but there is no comment at this time. Again, this is still in the works as the AAC will dive into the matter more this week. ESPN also stated that if accepted, UNT and the other schools would have to pay a nearly $3 million exit fee from Conference USA, and the earliest they would be able to join is the 2023-2024 season. It's a potential dramatic change to UNT, as we have prepared for bigger changes with the addition of brand new multi-million-dollar facilities like the one you see behind me. This is a developing story, and we will update you further as it develops. But for now, back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Lincoln. What began this morning as a plane trip from Houston to a Major League Baseball game nearly ended in disaster. 21 people escaped from the fiery crash as their plane was attempting to take off from a private airport. The jet rolled off the runway and bursted into flames. Federal security investigators are on site working to determine the cause. The 18 passengers and 3 crew members were on their way to Boston for Game 4 of the American League Championship Series when the accident happened.
Luckily, and we're thankful that all of the passengers and crew members were able to extract themselves, and that's when the first responders came in to go to work to extinguish the fire.
The youngest passenger on that flight was reported to be 10 years old.
Well, Jose, the week started off pretty cloudy, but the weather the past couple days has been amazing.
Absolutely. I've been loving the sunshine. Let's head over to our weather anchor, Hannah Gonzalez, to see if it'll stick around. Hannah?
Well, Jose and Isabella, we're going to have warm, clear skies for the rest of the week. Today, we actually hit a high of 81, which is 18 degrees warmer than what we saw last year. But if we take a look at our current conditions here in Denton, we can see we're sitting at 77 degrees. Feels a bit cooler at 74 due to those southeastern winds coming at 13 miles per hour. Now, if we take a look at tonight's conditions, we can see temperatures drop just slightly. We'll sit at 71 degrees with a 10-mile-per-hour wind speed. Now let's take a look at tomorrow's conditions. We're going to see a high of 85. Feels about the same with sunny skies. Now make sure you stay tuned later on in the show when I break down that 7-day forecast. Jose, back to you.
Thanks, Hannah. Late last night, the UNT branch of Young Conservatives of Texas held a candlelight vigil at Library Mall, supporting the new abortion restrictions in Texas. However, the vigil was interrupted by a group of pro-choice counter-protesters, specifically a local punk rock band. The band played for about 30 minutes during the YCT's vigil and continued after most of the pro-life group gathered their signs and left, leaving about 20 pro-choicers. 4 Denton police officers were on scene throughout the protest and for the impromptu concert afterwards.
Now, we all have seen the historical courthouse on the Denton Square, but what most Dentonites don't know is the construction of the new Denton County Administrative Courthouse. ntTV's Christine Guevara has the more on the latest landmark.
The Denton County Administrative Courthouse is officially open for business. You can find the 4-story building on number 1 Courthouse Drive. I sat down with Denton County Judge Andy Eads to discuss what this new courthouse is all about.
You know, this new courthouse was built so that we could consolidate some of our services over here to this main campus here on Loop 288. It's been a great build out over many years. The voters approved this overall concept of this whole campus in 2008. So we've been working on this project since 2007.
Construction began around the time of the pandemic, causing a delay in completion. But the courthouse was well worth the wait, as it offers many new features for the people of Denton.
Yeah, the way to compare this building to the courthouse on the square is we have expanded public space and meeting space for after hours, civic events, meeting rooms where we could have dinners and seminars and workshops. And also the public will have more opportunities to engage with their government here at the Commissioner's Court with additional seating in our courtroom.
This campus serves as the new home to the offices of the Health Department, Elections and Administration, IT Department, Facilities, Adult Probation, and finally, the Administrative Courthouse. And with the historic courthouse on the square being a heartbeat of civic life for over 100 years, it played a great role in the making of this new building.
For our UNT students, I think it's great that you're here in Denton, and I encourage you to go and check out the courthouse on the square before you leave town, maybe before you graduate. Come check out this new landmark, you know, because if you may be bringing back a future Eagle here to UNT and to Denton County, and they could come check out this courthouse as well.
The official ribbon cutting will take place next month and will be open to the public to experience.
When we return, we will have an update on the booster vaccination.
And Apple is coming out with some new devices that will keep you ahead of the game. Stay with us.
An update on the kidnapped missionaries in Haiti. The Haitian gang members are demanding $1 million per hostage. In total, this would be a $17 million ransom. CNN's Camila Bernal has the story.
$1 million per hostage. The Haitian gang that kidnapped 17 missionaries now demanding $17 million for their release, according to the country's justice minister.
Negotiating with them would certainly not be an option, but of course they have to tread carefully.
The Justice Minister also saying that Haitian police negotiators and the FBI are advising the missionary group on how to proceed.
It would be very unfortunate for the $17 million to be paid, because that would only reinforce the gang, and that would only finance further kidnappings.
The missionaries are affiliated with the Ohio-based Christian Aid Ministries, which says the abducted group is made up of 5 men, 7 women, and 5 children. One of the missionaries reportedly sending WhatsApp messages obtained by CNN saying, "Please pray for us. We're being harassed, kidnapped." Currently, negotiations are still ongoing, but for locals, this is not new. They say kidnappings have been happening for a long time, and more needs to be done.
Once the Americans are out, it would be good for the police and the Haitian security forces to finish with that particular gang and all the other gangs that are creating problems.
I'm Camila Bernal reporting.
The investigation continues to find the missing Americans and Canadians.
Social media giant Facebook has settled a $15 million lawsuit with the Department of Justice. The company was accused of denying employment to U.S. citizens while reserving jobs for temporary visa holders. Facebook was also allegedly using recruitment methods that deterred U.S. workers from applying to certain positions within the company. Under this settlement, Facebook has to pay eligible victims for these discriminatory hiring practices. Individuals eligible for compensation is to be determined by the Department of Justice's Civil Rights Division. With the holidays right around the corner, Apple has the perfect gift to give for you this holiday season as they release their latest MacBook Pro and laptops and 3 AirPods 3. The 2 laptops use Apple's new M1 and M1 Max processors that will have 70% more speed than the previous M1 chip. The MacBook Pro will come in 2 sizes, the 16-inch and the 14-inch model, and the AirPods 3 features spatial audio, better sound quality, and resistance to sweat and water for workouts. You can pre-order these products now for only $179.
Major supply chain issues plague this holiday season, keeping all of the toys stuck on ships and not where they belong, and Santa's sleigh. CNN's Vanessa Yurkovich has more.
In this small New Jersey office, a Herculean attempt is underway. It's the unofficial logistics center for Carrera Revel, working desperately to get their toys into the U.S. in time for this holiday season.
Okay, just giving you an update on the container situation in the moment.
President Frank Thiessen is manning the operation.
Had you ever worked in logistics before?
Only peripherally, not directly.
Why did you have to get directly involved into logistics?
Because of the global supply chain challenges that we are facing.
Cargo vessels, order numbers, and arrival dates, all tracked with precision.
Pretty much the first thing in the morning is really checking the backlog in the warehouse.
Boxes of toys of the well-known slot car maker are stuck in their warehouses in China, waiting for a ride.
We still have about 25-30 containers which are just missing, which will not be here.
That's 30% of their holiday product, just one of many companies dealing with a supply chain nightmare. With port congestion, containers shipped in May are just arriving to Carrera Revel's U.S. warehouse in Atlanta, 5 months behind schedule.
We have seen such a surge in the last 90 days.
Angela Higgs runs the freight forwarding company for Carrera Revel, tasked with receiving the toys and getting them out to retailers as quickly as possible.
It's been one delay after another, and we've, of course, been pushing and pushing and pushing, but these delays are inevitable right now.
With nearly every U.S. port facing a backlog, the warehouse is using all of them, piecing together a working supply chain.
We're just going everywhere we can. Otherwise, these goods are not going to get to the stores, and I'm not going to have anyone missing out on their toys this season.
To try to help with that, President Biden announced 2 major ports in California will move to operate 24/7. But for Thiessen, the problem now moves from the sea to the land.
Does that help you guys?
No, it doesn't help. It just doesn't alleviate the problem, which we then have once the containers are all from board. There are not enough trucks, there are not enough freight trains to move the containers inland.
Well, I sure hope Santa's able to get all the toys in time for Christmas.
Well, speaking of Christmas, let's check in with Hannah to see if we'll be getting any colder weather. Hannah?
Well, Jose and Isabella, I wouldn't bring out those heavy coats just yet as we are sitting in those low to mid 80s. But let's go ahead and look at our North Texas map. If you're just tuning in, we can see Denton is sitting at 77 degrees along with Graham. Dallas is going to be our warmest city on the map at 80 degrees. Now let's take a look at the state map. We can see Amarillo is sitting comfortably at 79 degrees along with El Paso, Oklahoma City only at 72. Now let's take a look that 7-day forecast. Tomorrow we're going to see a high of 85, low of 63. Now jumping into Friday, we're going to see a 20% chance of rain before 1 p.m. However, this doesn't affect temperatures too much as we are sitting with a high of 83, low of 65. Now taking a quick look at our weekend, we can see Saturday is going to be a high of 85, Sunday a bit cooler with only a high of 80. Now that's all I have for weather this day. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Hannah. All this great fall weather has been terrific. Good news tonight for everyone getting their third COVID shot. The FDA is giving a thumbs up to mix and matching the vaccines. CNN's Alex Field has more.
More Americans, tens of millions, could soon be eligible for a booster shot. The FDA is considering whether to authorize Moderna and J&J boosters, and a CDC advisory committee could recommend them as soon as Thursday. Two sources tell CNN the FDA is planning to allow Americans to mix and match coronavirus vaccines when they receive their boosters.
If you cannot get a booster of whatever vaccine you got initially, that should not preclude you from trying to go get yourself protected. Please go get vaccinated.
But some 65 million Americans are still choosing not to get any shot. Washington State's highest paid public employee, football coach Nick Rolovich, fired for refusing to comply with the state's vaccine mandate, along with 4 of his assistant coaches.
Coaches across the country always try to teach to their players is sacrifice for the team. And in Nick Rolovich's case, not only did he refuse to do that, he never really explained himself.
Los Angeles' vaccine mandate for city workers takes effect tomorrow. The city now preparing for as many as a third of its sworn officers to defy it. There's evidence, though, that vaccine mandates are broadly working. There's 90% compliance with Washington State's mandate for all state workers, 99% with Seattle's, 91% with Oregon's. In the most vaccine-resistant regions, tensions are rising. In Florida, a private school perpetuating false claims about the adverse effects of vaccines, asking parents to keep vaccinated students home for 30 days. And in a letter to the Justice Department, local health officials are now seeking protection, citing, quote, a rise in harassment and threats targeting school personnel. That kind of harassment too much for this Illinois school board member.
So I'm the second board member to resign this year from my board. I've been approached by other board members in our area that have the same thing going on. I need to do what's right for my family and put their personal safety first.
All this as new COVID cases and COVID-related hospitalizations fall to nearly 3-month lows, with more than 2/3 of eligible Americans now vaccinated. Still, there is more cause for concern, particularly for the unvaccinated. CNN analysis shows 5 states experiencing cold weather are now seeing the biggest pockets of increases.
Well, all of that is certainly good news, and more good news for you cookie lovers. Coming up, we have a new cookie place that will satisfy your sweet tooth.
And one local pop-up shop is gearing up for their this upcoming spooky season for one night only. Stay with us. it's always so hard to find tasty desserts when dealing with nut allergies and other dietary restrictions. Luckily, our segment anchor Madison Myers has just found the perfect place to fulfill your need for a sweet and healthy treat. Tell us what you found, Madison.
That's right, Isabella. The Cookie Crave is a cookie shop that specializes in nut-free and vegan cookies. Tonight, we take a look at the variety of flavors and treats that the shop has to offer. Although the Cookie Crave opened during the heart of COVID-19, it has received a great deal of support from the Dayton community. Veronica Powell created the Cookie Crave to accommodate her severe nut allergies while satisfying her crave for sweets. The shop began by offering nut-free flavors, but she has expanded the menu to cater to other dietary restrictions.
My son, who turned 6 yesterday, he has a tolerance to gluten and dairy, and so they kind of just made household dairy-free, gluten-free, and nut-free.
A big hit amongst customers is the white chocolate snickerdoodle, but Powell is always experimenting in the kitchen.
Thanksgiving's coming up, Christmas coming up. We have blueberry crisp coming out. We have white chocolate peppermint coming out. Just last month we just released our caramel apple.
It hasn't always been easy for Powell to come up with flavors that were safe and delicious.
You know, I'm not great at making gluten-free pie crust, and I haven't found a great gluten-free pie crust. I wouldn't make a sweet potato pie and a gluten-free vegan cookie. There's only a couple of different weird ones we throw in there that I wouldn't make.
Although it opened during the pandemic, the Cookie Crave has received an abundance of support from the Denton community and other local businesses.
Even other businesses have been very supportive. In the past, we've teamed up with yoga. We've done yoga here, and several other things. With cheese shops, we've done different baskets. So I think the support has been great.
The Cookie Crave is always looking for ways to come up with new and unique flavors. They plan to welcome a white chocolate peppermint and sweet potato pie cookie to bring in the holiday season. I know I can't wait to give them both a try. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Madison. Cookies sound so amazing right now. It's activating my sweet tooth. Speaking of cookies, Alessia Duarte has more on a Halloween pop-up where you can get your hands on spooky sweets and homemade cards. Alyssa?
Speaking of cookies, I'm here at Sunny Tree Art and V's Cookie Shop Halloween-themed porch pop-up. They have come together to host this event starting from 3 p.m. and ending at 8 p.m. or until merchandise is sold out. They both accept cash and Venmo as payment, and they are located at 1112 Woodmount Court. I'm here with Vanessa and Kimberly, who can tell us more about the event tonight and what they will be selling.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Tolson, owner of V's Cookie Shop, and at our pop-up today we've got Halloween-themed sugar cookies, like this box set. We've got some paint your owns, we've got minis and cookie dippers, so come on out and get some yummy cookies.
Hi, my name's Kimberly Vollner. I'm the owner of Sunny Tree Art, and I'm selling some cute little holiday cards as well as special everyday cards. And I used to doodle, and now I made a business out of it.
I can't wait to buy a few items. Can you tell us more where people can purchase your items in the future?
Yes, V's Cookie Shop on Instagram and Facebook. You'll see my pop-up announcements.
And I'm also on Facebook at Sunny Tree Art.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll come out here and support them. They close at 8. Back to you all in the studio.
Thanks, Alyssa. Jose, were you able to catch any of the games this weekend?
Well, Isabella, I was able to catch the Cowboys game, which was a nail-biter. Let's see what else our sports anchor Lincoln Rebel has for us.
That's right, guys. The Cowboys were able to pull off an exciting overtime win against the New England Patriots on Sunday. However, that isn't exactly the story I have for y'all tonight. I'll explain right after this.
UNT is more than 120
Dallas Cowboys free safety DeMonte Casey was arrested in the Colony early this morning, just over 24 hours after the Cowboys defeated the Patriots on Sunday. Casey was pulled over for a traffic violation and was noticeably under the influence during the stop. The 28-year-old reportedly told the officer he had been drinking and then failed a field sobriety test and was detained. Casey was released on bail earlier this afternoon. Casey has been a part of the Dallas defense this season, starting all 6 games so far and posting 17 tackles, and an interception and a forced fumble. UNT volleyball player Rhett Robinson was named AVCA National Player of the Week today due to her outstanding performances against UAB this past weekend. The senior from Crum, Texas posted a combined 45 kills in the 2-game sweep of the Blazers, helping the Mean Green improve to 6-2 in conference play. This newest accolade makes Robinson the 2nd player in UNT volleyball history to win National Player of the Week, alongside former All-American Carney Dillard, who won the award in 2014. Robinson was also named CUSA Player of the Week Monday for the 2nd time this season. Robinson and the Mean Green will be back in play this weekend as they will battle the UTSA Roadrunners at home. And now the Dallas Stars are finishing up their first long road trip of the season as they are actually currently taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Stars are coming off of a tough 3-2 loss against the Ottawa Senators on Sunday, where a late comeback fell short. The Stars were able to take the lead early in the first period, but the Senators would make sure that lead didn't last long, scoring 3 unanswered goals in the first 2 periods. The Stars would add 1 more goal to their night, but the 2-goal Senator lead proved to be too much to overcome. After this loss, the Stars now sit at 1-2 on the season, but there is good news for the boys in green as they will be back in the American Airlines Center on Friday when they will take on the Los Angeles Kings. Now, that's all I have for sports tonight. Sending it back to you all at the desk.
Thanks, Lincoln. Taco Bell is celebrating the fact that 90% of its locations are once again selling breakfast tacos.
Many locations stopped offering breakfast when the pandemic started. To mark the milestone, the chain is offering free breakfast burritos to customers Thursday morning. It happens from 7 a.m. until 11 a.m. It's only free if you go inside, so go ahead and trek down to your closest Taco Bell Thursday while the offer lasts.
Thanks for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow, tonight at 6, here on North Texas Television.